Hello and welcome to a very short course on how to manage social media for real estate companies. Though it can work for any other institution because the fundamentals are just the same. Right, so let's dive right in. So it's basically an introduction, as I mentioned. We're just going to explore different things like who is a target audience, what's a social media strategy, and how to create and share content to your audience. Yeah, so what is social media marketing? So, of course, we understand social media, which is the platform that enables us to talk or interact with other people and brands online. And so social media marketing is just a type of digital marketing that involves use of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, X, etc. to promote a brand or a product. And basically, that's just it. And these platforms also give us the ability to also run advertisements and engage with our followers and build a community. So basically, if you are to have your fans in your store and have a meetup, you can do this online now. And the beauty of it is it's not time bound. Okay, so social media marketing is often confused with social media management and social media presence. Though all three are related, they're very distinct from each other. So social media management is a process of just managing the social media accounts. That's just posting, different content here and there, and also responding to comments, monitoring the performance, etc. And it's very crucial in maintaining your presence online. Social media presence is just the overall visibility and reputation. Like, there are brands that you just see and, they're present online. In all the platforms, they are very engaging. They have quality content that resonates to people. That's social media presence. So presence is not just, having an account and leaving it. That's very bare minimum. And social media marketing is now the broader concept that encompasses both social media management and social media presence. So social media marketing is just using tactics to promote a brand or a product on social media, while social media management is just, managing your presence online. Now, for a real estate company, what are the benefits of social media marketing on social media? So, of course, number one is just brand awareness. Now, people get to know you, people get to know your company and what you offer and how you stand out from the competition. And then number two is lead generation, because the more you market your company, the more you're in people's minds, then you stand a very high chance of, someone leaving their details or even sending you a message. Because if they send you a message, then at least you have, someone's name, they leave their phone number, etc. And it's also a very important point, because then people can now go to your website from social media. And then it's very cost effective as well compared to putting up billboards, So you could put whatever you put into one billboard can just be your marketing advert for the year, and you might see more or less. You might actually get more leads compared to having a single billboard on the side of a road, and these leads are actually better because you get to see intent, see people who like your posts and people who send you messages. And then also you get to engage with your with your customers and prospects. You get to answer people's questions and concerns in real time. So if people ask a particular question, you can even push out a video or a post answering such questions. And then also just the competitive advantage. So while your competitors are just present online or managing their accounts, if you're doing social media marketing, then that's how you differentiate yourself and even reach people who might end up being your customers. So what are the key or popular social media platforms that we work with? So in Kenya, Facebook has 5.7 million active Facebook users, and Instagram 3.2 million, X 1.4 million, LinkedIn 2.2 million, and then YouTube worldwide 2 billion, and in Kenya 5.5 million active users. Actually, this is a very important point because most people watch YouTube on their TVs nowadays. So like if you wanted to watch news or anything, like you'd still watch NTV, KBC and the rest, but you'd use YouTube. So that's a very important place to be, because some time back you'd have to buy media on using the media stations, make sure that your ad is seen or placed during news time and very key hours. But nowadays, just be there on YouTube and have your ad running, and anytime someone watches a video, it could appear as a pre-roll, mid-roll or post-roll advert. And then WhatsApp is very upcoming in terms of marketing. It has 2 billion monthly active users in the world, and in Kenya around 13.8 million people use WhatsApp. So these are the most popular social media platforms that you can engage, although there are others, and others are coming up. So how do you optimize your social media? So number one, you start by defining your goals. This is where you set your goal, like what do you want your social media to do for you? Do you want it to generate leads, boost sales, or just, create awareness? And then number two, you analyze your current social media presence. So just look at your profiles, look at their performance, key metrics such as followers, engagement rate, reach, message rate, and also response rate. And then number three would be to optimize your social media profiles so that they match or even surpass your competition. And also they have to be very up to date, high quality profile photos, keywords on your bio, services, and also accurate locations. You don't want your leads to go to your competitor's location. You'll have done the work for them. Okay, and then number four is, based on your goals that you have created, now you have to create a content strategy that resonates with your audience. So plan your content in advance. Like, don't wait till Christmas Day to create Christmas content or think about the offers, because you already set your goals. Now it's going to be very easy to create the content strategy. And then use social media management tools. However, nowadays you can still use the native social media platforms to manage your posts, look at the analytics, and even schedule them in advance, as well as monitoring your competition. And then the most important bit is engaging with your followers or people who send you messages, comments, etc. Because at the end of the day, it is a social media platform. And so you have to be social, have to be human, and engage with people online. These are real people spending their real time with your brand. And then another important bit is measuring your success or your activity online. So just make sure that you measure all the metrics that matter to you and know whether it is working or not. So how do you identify your target audience? So social media marketing can be very powerful for your real estate company because it helps you to, reach potential clients and build your brand. However, to make the most out of social media marketing, it's crucial to identify and understand your target audience. So let's explore the importance of identifying target audiences and how to do it effectively. Yeah, so let's look at what buyer personas are and how you can conduct market research and use social media analytics to gain insights into your audience. So these are very crucial steps. And number one, you have to create buyer personas. So a buyer persona is a fictional representation of your ideal customer. So it includes information about demographics, their interests, behaviors, pain points, etc. So who is this person that you think might buy your product? Who's this person that you think might rent a bedsitter or a one-bedroom house or a family home? What's their pain points? What are they looking for? What's their salary? That's going to inform a lot when it comes to, creating content and very many other things that you're going to look into. And then you have to conduct a market research. You can hire a company to do this for you or do it yourself. But it's very important that you do it so that it's not all in your mind, but it's also backed by data. And then you can also use social media analytics. See your buyer persona, are they online actually? And are they the decision makers? How many are they? So like if you're looking for a particular persona, so are they in the millions and in the thousands? What's their location, etc. And then consider your niche, because not all real estate companies often specialize in a particular niche. So if you're focusing on luxury homes or commercial properties or rental properties, it's essential to consider your niche when identifying your target audience. So this can influence your demographics, interests, and behaviors. And then lastly, think about your buyer's journey. Are they the type of person to just look at a billboard and call, or look at an advert online and send a message? Or would they want to look at your website, scroll images, look at 360-degree videos? Are they that tech savvy? So at each niche, the interests and their behaviors change. And then you also have to identify your target audience by understanding the buyer personas. So you have to research your target audience, identify the common characteristics such as gender, location, and then the pain points, create personas, and then use the personas to guide your content. And then something very key that you should do is keep your personas up to date. Remember that your ideal customer also grows. They get promoted at work, they get a family, they get divorce, etc. And you have to keep your personas up to date. So if you're targeting, let's say, small families, and that's been your target audience, remember that they change. New generations come up, millennial, new families will not be the same as Gen Z new families, and will not be the same as Gen Alpha new families. So you have to keep them up to date. And then don't create too many personas. Just make it as simple as possible. And then you have to validate your buyer personas. So validate them with real customers. Ensure that they accurately represent your target audience. We are now looking at developing a social media strategy. So number 1, define your goals. Remember what we said earlier. Then now you can identify your target audience, determine the best social media platform to use depending on your buyer persona and your target audience. Then now you have to create a content plan. So here is where you have identified your target audience and social media platforms. Then now you create a content plan that aligns with your goals. And your content plan should include the type of content that you will create, how often you're going to post, and who will create and manage the content. Remember, a plan without execution is as good as dead. Now, monitor and measure your results. So Facebook, X, Instagram, they all give you analytics. Some platforms won't give you analytics, but in future they would. Those maybe third-party analytics can work. And then also remember to be consistent and to engage with your audience. So another important thing is to experiment with different content types. Don't be afraid of trying emerging content types. The worst that could happen is only you and your employees like the content, but at least you've tried. On the flip side, it could actually make your page grow. So never be afraid of trying something new. Now, another thing is setting social media goals and objectives. So remember that your goals have to be smart. They have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So when setting your social media goals, just make sure that they are also achievable, depending on where you are in your business. So if your goals, your business goals don't align with your marketing goals, then you have to rethink everything again. So remember, just be realistic. Some people join social media and they get 1 million followers instantly, but sometimes it takes a long time. So just be realistic, focus on quality over quantity, and be flexible. So let's look at creating and sharing content. So here we are going to look or focus on how to create and how to share content. So real estate companies can run a variety of content. So that's blog posts, videos, images, infographics, and very many more. And we'll explore the benefits and challenges of each type of the content for your audience and for your goals. So the key thing is just creating compelling content, because the competition is quite high. It's not 2008 anymore. So just posting an image is not enough. It has to evoke emotion. And that's when someone will stop scrolling and actually look at your page or call you up. The visuals are very important in real estate marketing. So it's, has to showcase the property, the neighborhood, and other things that matter to your ideal client. And then UGC, or user-generated content, is very important nowadays, because it builds trust and engagement to your audience. So once you've created, you also have to share it effectively, and just make sure that it reaches the correct eyeballs. Now, what are the types of content that you're going to be sharing? So these are just, as we mentioned, high quality photos and videos, infographics, blog posts, testimonials and case studies, and then user-generated content. So most of these are paid, where you just pay an influencer or a celebrity or your clients so that they just, talk about your content. Some are not paid, and you might actually get someone just talking about your listing or how they enjoyed staying at a particular place. And you can take advantage of that. You can have, you can share it on your pages or even reach out and see whether you can collaborate. Another thing is, if you are not hiring an agency to do this, then invest in good equipment. At least nowadays, these are everywhere, but at least having stable shots are important. And if you don't have light, then take photos on days where the sun is quite good and giving you some good lighting, good natural lighting, and then stage the property. Make sure that the chairs are, and beds are well dressed, and also just highlight unique features that stand out in your listing. Then you just use an editing software. There are free ones like DaVinci that are very high quality, but if you're not going that direction, then just pay for something like CapCut so that you also don't have watermarks and look cheap. And then if your budget allows, then consider hiring a professional. Yeah, so now you have created the content. What do you do next? So Facebook is very popular for both text, images, and videos. Instagram is very visual, and it's ideal for sharing videos nowadays because, with the TikTok coming up, then now you see things have changed and the competition for videos is really high. Twitter is very fast-paced for very short updates and quick news bites, and short engaging tweets that, have very engaging visuals and also videos. Yeah, and so LinkedIn is a professional networking platform. It's ideal for sharing content that showcases your expertise in the real estate industry. To share content on LinkedIn, focus on creating informative blog posts, industry news updates, and also thought leadership pieces. So you can also use LinkedIn to connect with other professionals in the industry and then share your listings with potential buyers. YouTube is a video sharing platform that is ideal for showcasing properties through virtual tours and walkthroughs. To share content on YouTube, high quality videos that highlight unique features on your properties. So you can also use YouTube to provide educational content such as tips for first-time home buyers, insights into the real estate market, etc. So it's very versatile, and you should not look at these platforms as just advertising platforms. Think of building a community. But then we have to make a sale at the end of the day, and social media advertising has become an essential part of, every social media market, every real estate company's marketing strategy. And here are some tips for advertising on social media. So define your target audience. When running an advert, you have to select your target audience for ideal buyers. Although again, most platforms are using AI to, give you or put your advert in front of the correct eyeballs. But you still should define a target audience and then choose the right platform. Yeah, like, are you targeting businesses, or to go on LinkedIn Or are you targeting Gen Alphas who are looking for a place to rent while at university? So you go to TikTok, etc. And then your budget is also important. Like, what's your annual budget, monthly and daily budget, so that you don't surpass it, and also so that you use it effectively. And then create a compelling content, and then measure and optimize your adverts. So how do you create a compelling advert for a real estate company? So we of course discussed about defining your target audience, use high quality visuals, write compelling copy such that someone would stop and read. That's a question you have to ask yourself. Like, will someone really stop and read this copy? So that, it explains the content that I have uploaded, and then the call to action has to be very clear. Most people have their adverts entertaining, but there's no call to action, so you don't know what you should do next. So that should be very clear. And then number 5 is test and optimize your ads. So once you run your advert, test, see whether it worked, whether it resonated with your audience, and then use the data to improve your adverts and your upcoming content's performance. And then adhere to platform guidelines. If it's a bill, make sure you pay it in time. Make sure that you tick all the boxes, check all the boxes, and so that at least your score is high and you don't get banned. The last thing you want is your ad account to be suspended. When it comes to advertising to specific audiences, make sure that you use audience targeting options, and then try to utilize lookalike audiences so that the platform targets people that look like or have the same demographics as your followers, and then also retarget website visitors. So if someone visited your website, you can always retarget them. And then use custom audiences, people who are likely to buy your brand in a particular way. And then always combine targeting options so that you at least get a buyer at the end of the day. So I'm a big proponent of using native insights tools like Facebook Insights, Twitter, LinkedIn. So all of them gives you analytics and insights. But you can also use third-party tools like Hootsuite and Sprout Social. So the advantage of the latter is that all the analytics are in one place. So let's look at the best practices and some case studies. So the best practices are basically what we discussed, but in summary. So have a very clear brand identity such that your brand voice, your visuals, and your messaging aligns with your target audience. And then know your buyers or your buyer persona. And with this, and with a clear brand identity, then your content is going to resonate with them a lot. And then you also have to be very consistent so that you're always in your target audience's mind. And then use high quality visuals. Real estate is a very visual industry, and people could ignore a very good listing just because the visuals did not resonate with them. And then engage with them. As we said, this is social media. It is two-way. It's not like a billboard that is one way. So you have to make sure that you respond to them, respond to their comments, messages, and make sure that it's prompt. So you can imagine like you're talking to someone and they respond the next day. Then it will not be a conversation. It would be more like one-sided. So it has to be very conversational. Case studies on companies that are doing it well in Kenya. So Optiven has used social media to increase their sales and brand awareness. They had several social media campaigns like On a Plot with Optiven, which encouraged their audience to purchase a plot with them. And they mostly used Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. And then Has Consult is very visual. This one is very notable for using very high quality visuals and aspirational visuals to just, reach their target audience. And then Sciton is also a very key one at their height. They were able to successfully use social media to increase their brand awareness and generate lots of leads. Yeah. And then internationally, there's Zillow, Redfin, and the agency. So I can leave links to this so that you just, look at how they were able to reach their target audiences online. So anyway, thank you, and let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to reach out if you need your website designed, social media managed, and media taken. And that's the email and website. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson.